Welcome to Holistic Health Made Simple, where you will find health solutions to set you free from the overwhelm of diet culture and frustration with the ever-changing health rules. We go beyond the calorie and diet dogma to equip you to be healthy through simple changes to real food, mindset, and lifestyle. Hey, I'm Jolene. I'm a nutritional therapy practitioner, wife, furry guardian, and non-bendy yogi. Like you, I spent years chasing skinny instead of health. I finally learned that I needed to take a holistic approach to health and give my body what it needed to thrive. If you are ready to find a health plan that is tailored to you and your current health, solutions that are broken down into simple steps to make it easier to implement, results that are undeniable like more energy, improved mood, better sleep, and fat loss, this is the podcast for you. Pop in those headphones, take a deep breath, and let's get healthy. Hello. Do you ever feel like me? Or does this happen to you every time I scroll through social media or the internet? I get bombarded with all of these biohack techniques. Some are like super extreme and some not so much. And then some just get me. They're like enticing. Like it might get you to skip to the middle or the end of the line. Are they really worth it? Will they get you healthy and skinny? Maybe, maybe not. But we really aren't going to dive into the world of biohacking today. We are going to have a reality check. You see, none of these biohack techniques will get you to the end goal faster if you have not built a solid foundation of health and mastered the basics. I know, it's kind of sad that we always have to start at the beginning, but unless we have this solid foundation and the basics are just habitual, these biohacks really won't help. They just really will put you on that like hamster wheel circle of doing something great and then going right back to where you started. And we don't really want that. Until you've worked on the foundations and mastered these basics, don't think about biohacking. Just kind of put them in the back of your mind as something you want to try once you get some of this other stuff down pat. I actually do teach some biohacks. They're more of the simple ones. They're not very extreme. They are considered biohacks. Some of you might just consider diet modalities to help boost wherever your goals are. But I always ask everybody I work with to start with the foundations. Develop this strong foundation of health before you wander into trying all these other things, because the biohacks won't magically erase a poor diet. And they won't undo years of gut health issues or other health issues. They won't magically make you an athlete. So remember, you need to crawl before you walk, walk before you run. So let's dive into a little bit about what these foundations are. So the foundations, to me, are where you start. Some will call them basics, some will call them foundations, but they're the foundations of health. Because when we start at the beginning and we start building these foundations, we can make dramatic improvements to our health so we know what the next step would be when we have to get a little bit more creative. We don't want to get in these endless cycles of ups and downs and going forward and then going way backwards again. So we want to focus and develop these foundations first so that we can move forward and get healthier. So what exactly is involved in building these foundations? I know I said that already, but I wanted to emphasize the fact that we really have to start with the foundations. So building a strong foundation of health includes proper nutrition, good digestion, blood sugar regulation, and I always like to add in insulin regulation, fatty acid balance, proper hydration, and mineral balance. Now, the more you're going to dive into these and as we progress with the different episodes, you're going to see that they're all tied back together, but they all are separate things that we can look at to see if we're mastering the foundations and giving our body what it needs to function properly. Because when all of our internal systems are functioning properly, it helps us reach our health goals, our weight loss goals, and get to our end game of being healthy and thriving. So along with the dietary foundations, we also have movement, stress, and sleep. Those are the three outside foundations that I like to always include as we're building a proper basics and foundations of health to get us moving forward and getting us in a way that our body and our mind are just making this as part of life. These are all lifestyle changes. They are not things that we do short term and say, woohoo, I'm healthy now. I can go back to what I used to do and sit around and eat junk food. That's not going to work. We need to build them and master them so that we can live long-term healthy. Now, I've said before that you're not going to do this 100% of the time, but the majority of the time we are going to be eating healthy and moving and helping our sleep and removing stress. And that is where we overall get healthy and live a long life of thriving, not just sitting in a chair and watching life. We want to participate in life. We don't want to observe it. So we want to work on mastering and building these solid habits so that they are habits. We don't think about them. They're just part of our nature. They're part of our lifestyle, and that's how we move forward. Before we look at any of the biohacks to take us to any of the next levels, we want to make sure that we have the basics mastered. And the first place you're gonna start is with nutrition. All health starts with nutrition. So how do you get started on this? I want you to start by eating real, whole, unprocessed foods and make that a habit. Make it that those are the first foods you reach for versus junk food, processed foods, convenience foods. Go back, listen to episode 5. You'll understand the power of real foods and then start making that switch over. By having it in your house, when you go grocery shopping, don't buy the packaged junk foods. Buy real whole foods. Prep them. Get them ready. Have them readily available. So your first step in mastering basics is mastering your nutrition. And basic nutrition, I'm not talking about figuring out what foods you're sensitive to, removing things, doing that. Just get to the point where you're eating real whole foods first. That is the very, very first step. The second step of mastering the basics is getting in movement. And I say movement versus exercise because for some of you that's going to look different. For some, it's going to be going to the gym. For others, it's going to be going hiking, going on walks, swimming in their backyard, playing with their dogs, their kids, and doing other things. I just need you to get in some movement. Don't go all in if you have been incredibly sedentary. Don't all of a sudden go to the gym for 2 to 3 hours, do tons of cardio, do tons of weightlifting. You're going to get hurt and you're going to burn yourself out. Build up slowly. If you've been incredibly sedentary, go for some walks. Maybe do some push-ups, some planks, simple things that can get you moving to the next step and then increase from there. I want you to also try to work on adding in simple muscle building, like using your own body weight, like I said, some push-ups, some planks, maybe some squats, just to start getting those muscles building. Walking is actually incredible for muscle building as well, as long as you're walking outside and not on a treadmill. It requires certain movements that help build bone density and muscle. So we don't want, also, key point, we don't want excessive cardio. Excessive cardio, like we were taught in the 80s and maybe the 90s even, to lose weight, we got to do all this cardio. We got to spend 2 hours on the spinning or 2 hours on, the elliptical or whatever it is. Excessive cardio just leads to excessive stress on the body. And excessive stress is not good for the body, for weight loss, any of that. We want to build muscle for long-term staying at a healthy weight, losing the weight. So muscle is your best friend when it comes to that, not necessarily cardio. So find ways you can incorporate certain muscle building techniques. Sometimes gardening, just moving things around, using those muscles. So think of it that way. Just don't think that you have to go to the gym for 3-4 hours a time. It's not necessary. Maybe even if you don't love exercising, a 15-minute HIIT workout, which is high intensity interval training, can get you everything you need in 15 minutes. So it gives you your cardio and your muscle building, and you can use it just by body weights at the same time. At least when you're getting started, there's plenty of free exercises out there on YouTube. Go check them out. So the two key factors of mastering basics are getting your nutrition down pat about eating real foods. We'll dive into later on how to figure out what foods are affecting you or not, but most of us did not start by eating almost all whole real foods. And when I say that, go back, listen to episode 5 so you understand it's your meats, it's your vegetables, it's your healthy fats. We're going with that first. And then getting in some movement. Start slowly, increase. You don't want to injure yourself. You don't want to get burnt out. And then start working on getting adequate sleep. Check out episode 6 for ways to improve your sleep quality. And then reduce your stress. Again, check out episode 8, which has some techniques to reduce your stress. Once you get a good handle on these things, nutrition, movement, sleep, and stress, and you start seeing the progress, then maybe some basic biohacks can be tried to get you into that next level. So the biggest impact on your health will be nutrition. It'll give you more energy to add in that movement. You're going to work on your stress and your sleep. Just be aware. Don't try to skip to the head of the line. Do the foundational work. Look at it as a lifestyle. Make it those changes that are going to be long lasting, and your life will be better for it because you can thrive and enjoy your later years in life. So until next time, guys, I'll see you later. Bye. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you found value in what you heard today, I would be incredibly grateful if you could help spread the word. Sharing is caring after all. Share the podcast with others that will find the information helpful. It's through your support that I can continue to grow and bring more amazing content. And if you have a spare moment, I would truly appreciate it if you could leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Your feedback means the world to me, and it also helps others discover my show. I read every review and take your suggestions to heart, so please don't hesitate to let me know what you think. Remember, you can stay connected with me by following me on Instagram or visiting the website at holistichealthmadesimple.com. I love hearing from our listeners, so feel free to reach out, share your thoughts, ideas, and even suggestions for future episodes. See you later.